Yeah. Welcome back. I'm that guy from South Carolina, Columbia to be exact. They call him Drummer 1980. I hope you're having a good day today. And if that's not the case, ask yourself why. Because after all, happiness is an inside job, and it will always be an internal affair. Guys, I'm back today again. Family, let me tell you what happened to me. I did a video yesterday, and it seemed like it was a masterpiece, some of my best work. I went to edit it and didn't have no audio coming from my microphone. That thing pierced my soul, boy. I was about to crawl up in the fetal position one time. I said, God, I done spent all this time making this video, and now I don't have nothing. I came out empty-handed, but you know what? I still got a dog in the fire. I'm back again, though, guys. I hope everybody doing all right. Kiss your mom. Hug your father. Tell your people that you love them, because you never know what might happen, all right? But anywho, in other news, I know y'all guys have heard about Shedeur Sanders. It has been a firestorm in the media, guys, and there's some racial undertones going on. But let's hear from TARIQ NASHEED and this tether. And then on the end, I'm going to bring in the anchor man, better known as TBA, the Black Authority, the foundation of Black America, if you will, all right? But get your popcorn and let's do this thing, guys. I'm going to call you to the screen. Let's go.
Bushmeat barrister, what is it?
You're spewing lies. You're basically not telling the entire story with the whole Shedeur.
What's the story?
Well, why are you leaving out the fact that the first pick in the NFL draft was a foundational Black American, Cameron Ward? He came from a two-parent household. His family's not as rich as
they're working class people. They're working class people.
No,
they're working class people.
They're above, but they're not in poverty. Okay,
right, but they're not wealthy.
Both of them.
They're working. Slow down, Bushmeat. Slow down. You can't even get your trolling out. They're a working class family, so they're not balling out. They're not balling out. They don't have a whole bunch of money. They're a humble working class family. That's not a story that bothers the dominant society. They don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with the working class family, very humble. They have a problem with somebody Black coming from a wealthy family who's not groveling and scraping and bucking his eyes. Not saying that Cam Ward is doing that. But yeah, they got a problem when you come from a wealthy family, when you are a media icon already. Cam Ward is not a media player right now. He's not a big media player right now.
Well, I'm not sure if you are aware, both of them are friends, and both of them have the same quarterback coach. And if you see their video, if you actually see their videos, they train each other. You know, they compete against each other.
Right.
You'll see that Cam Ward is way better than Shedeur Sanders, and that's why he was the number one overall pick. Number two, basically he.
But let's be real. They picked like a whole bunch of people over Shedeur that wasn't better than him, and you know that. What was that white quarterback, Tyler something, in the video clip of Tyler throwing that brick ass ball?
Tyler Shaw has better intangibles. He has a way better arm. He actually has a much better arm.
We didn't see him throwing that damn brick. Like we didn't see him throwing a goddamn brick, man. Come on. Go ahead, Bushmeat. Go ahead, Bushmeat.
The bottom line is the reason why Shedeur fell to the fifth round is that he just wasn't good enough. That's it.
Not true.
He wasn't good enough. That is it.
All the other players were not better than him.
Yes, they were. Jalen Milroe.
Hold on. Disrespectful P. Let me get this.
Let me chime in for about 60 seconds, guys. Do you see how the tether's always negative? I have taught y'all guys this time and time again. They always on the wrong side of history. Not sometime. It's probably 98.9% of the time. They're on the wrong side of history. With the Shedeur Sanders case in particular. And this has came from the experts, the analysts, and everybody abroad and everywhere. They was scratching their head like, well, why didn't he go in the first and second round? And there was some sports commentators like Skip Bayless, which, and I don't have no love for Skip Bayless. You know what Skip Bayless is, but he even said, this feel like just racism. See, what he failed to realize, he talking about where Cam Ward went in the first round. Shout out to Cam Ward. Salute to Cam Ward. But the story is not there. The problem is that transferring of wealth and that success, the optics of it is threatening. What did the guy from the FBI say? J. Edgar Hoover. He said, the threat to America is black unity. In other words, they don't want your family together. That's why they always break up your home. They don't want the man and the woman to be on one accord. That's why they always agenda divide. Women are over the men. That's automatically go throw everything out of sync. Oh, did you hear me? Let me say that one more time, because that felt so good. When the man and the woman are at odds, when you put the woman over the man, that's not in nature nowhere. Okay? Maybe in one case, the hyenas. That's why we call them hyenas. But other than that, the man is in the leadership role. But what they want to do is make the black girl magic, and that throw the whole community out of whack. You give the woman the power, she gonna abuse you. Simple as that. Now, we can argue about that later, but let me get back to the case. So they try to break up your family. They don't want no oversight for you over your kids. You can't spank and discipline your kids. So then you send them to school, they in trouble constantly. You can't do nothing to them now because they not afforded the same opportunities as the little white children. The white children can get in trouble. They'll just slap them on the wrist and send them on. Your kid get in trouble, he got a jail record in literally elementary school. Send him to juvie, do all this stuff. See, but they cripple you at the beginning. That's going to throw your whole family in a disarray. All because the family unit is the key here. Family unit. Intact. Unity. People talking to one another. People loving on one another. So they always keep you competing and butting heads and fighting and doing all this stuff. See, I can see all through that, guys. I can see all through that. And unity is not everybody. Let's get this clear before I go. Unity is not for everybody. There's some people you can't lock arms with because they will dilute the solution. God almighty, bars. That's a double entendre there. They will dilute the solution. Most people will just put a monkey wrench in it because they want to argue about things that's futile and things that are pointless. And I don't want to do it this way. We should go there. Shut up. That's what leadership is about. That's what a code is about. Some things shouldn't be spoken on the internet. It should come through just osmosis. You see what's going on? There is enough information out there for everybody to kind of know where to go because they tidbits on Professor Black Truth. They tidbits on Jason Channing. They tidbits on TARIQ. They tidbits on Vicky Diller. They tidbits on Alpha Elite. They tidbits on Marcus Dixon. They tidbits. It's everywhere. You should understand what's going on around you. All right. But this here is just a classic case of he too uppity. Let me move on.
Disrespectful P in here. But yeah, all of them players were not better than him. Damn, that's not true. Disrespectful P, hop on.
What's going on, Flex?
What's up, brother?
I'm just listening to Barrison. You don't know nothing about football, do you?
You don't know. I know a whole lot about football. I follow Colorado football for the past 2 years, and I know for a fact.
So I know for a fact. Just listen for a second. Right? The reason why everybody from Donald J. Trump to Chad Ochocinco are scratching their heads trying to figure out how Shedeur Sanders, the number 2 ranked quarterback on everybody's board and number 10 overall best player, falls to 144. It doesn't make sense unless they're trying to teach somebody a lesson. Now, Dallas needed a quarterback. Pittsburgh needed a quarterback. The Browns needed a quarterback. Guess what? The Lions could have used a quarterback. See, all these teams that have quarterbacks are almost out the door. The Jets could have took them. It's so many different teams. Matter of fact, Jacksonville could have took him, traded Trevor Lawrence for 3 first round. It's so many things they could have done with this situation just because of the chip it would have been to have the Sanders guy there. So the fact that they didn't take him, even if he was a bum quarterback, even if he was, it's a quarterback. They only took 3. They even said there's only 2 quarterbacks in this draft even worth looking at. They were talking about Shador and Cam Ward. Cam Ward with number 1 made sense. Travis Hunter number 2 makes sense. After that, it doesn't make sense not to take him. That's why you see some teams who took offensive linemen. It made sense because they already have a quarterback. People with quarterbacks like Kansas City is not taking a quarterback. The Eagles wouldn't take a quarterback. But it doesn't make sense for Dallas to pass. Doesn't make sense for the Giants to pass. It doesn't make sense for the Browns to pass as many times they did. So this is a bunch of bullshit, and this is why we can't take y'all serious. Like, you don't know enough about this sport to come out.
I know more about this sport than you. Basically, there's a process in the draft. There's a draft process, and basically, he did not do well at all in the interviews. Basically,
who's the board named after?
What you said?
They call it a draft board. Who's the board named after if you watch it so much?
What do you mean a draft board?
Who's a draft expert?
Mel Kiper. Those are experts, though. You got to listen to the NFL scouts and the coaches.
What did he say?
Huh? He ranked him number 1, but he's just an analyst. He's just.
You just said he was an expert. He's not an expert.
He's not an expert. He's an ESPN analyst. You have to look at the NFL scouts and the coaches.
ESPN expert analyst.
Yo, disrespectful. The main thing is that you got to listen to the NFL scouts and the coaches, and the NFL scouts and coaches essentially said that he was not good enough.
Bro,
and that's true.
Hold on, wait.
He's not that good enough.
I'm sorry. You just said that a white quarterback taken above Shador Sanders had better intangibles.
Yes,
Shador Sanders came from Jackson State University to a Power 5 school in Colorado.
Because of his father.
Listen. He led a bunch of transfer graduates, right, to a 4-win season of a team that didn't win a single game before that. And then the very next year, they doubled the wins. That is unheard of in a program that fast.
Now, guys, pay very close attention. Be attentive to details. You have to listen at these people talk. First, he said, Mel Kiper was an expert, and then he come. Well, no, he just an analyst. You just say the man was an expert. These people do this for a living. Most of the time, they are not far anyway. Everybody knew Sanders was supposed to go in the first round, no further than the second. Everybody knew that. Even Donald Trump said something. He talking about, the scouts. Family, listen at me. This is why tethers, this is why they fail, because they don't listen. They're so quick to speak. They know everything. There is an old adage, an old saying. A fool knows everything, while a wise man knows he knows nothing. Let me say that again in a different way. A fool thinks that he knows everything, but a wise man understands he knows nothing, because you forever learning. Like Dr. Neely Fuller always say, I'm still learning. Instead of him listening and looking at the context over the whole situation and just being quiet and listen, y'all Black Americans, y'all this and that, but yet he over here. If you so smart and you are so intelligent and you so well endowed intelligent, your wealth of intelligence, your well of intelligence, why can't you do it over there where you at? You forever in our spaces. Ain't nobody in your space bothering you. Matter of fact, nobody wouldn't even take time enough to come and check out your spaces. Unless it's some foolishness. Like some of these tethers on the internet that's doing these corny jokes and dancing and doing all this buffoonery and tomfoolery stuff on the internet. Listen at this guy. He talking about, because it's Deion Sanders' son. How about Archie Manning? God almighty. Do anybody know about Archie Manning? Do anybody remember the draft from not Peyton Manning, but Eli. The people booed him. I want to know why. Go back and check out that story. Everybody booed him.
A lot of the teams let me speak. No, let me speak.
That's the definition of intangibles.
No, intangibles is that he's kind of short. He's not that tall for a quarterback. He doesn't have great arm strength.
Height is intangible, sir.
Yeah,
6'2". He's 6'2".
He doesn't have the typical quarterback height is 6'4", basically.
That's not true. Drew Brees is
not true.
That's an exception.
Kyler Murray's
Those are except because they can run really fast. They can run really fast. That's why.
I can go on and on.
Johnny Manziel was a bust. Johnny Manziel was a bust. He was drafted, and the reason why he got drafted, number one, is because he had other intangibles, like he can run really fast.
Getting drunk before the draft.
And he can run.
He was doing all this shit before the league. Shador never had no problem.
Here's the thing: the NFL is a TOE league. Get talent over everything. Basically, if you have talent, then you could go ahead and be a convicted felon, be drunk all the time. If you have talent, you go. The NFL doesn't really care. You'll be number one.
With a straight face, you're really trying to convince us that Shador Sanders, who was projected number 2 quarterback in the draft, is justified being taken 144.
Yes. Basically, he was. No, I'm not being.
You just NFL scouts.
No, I'm not. The NFL scouts. The NFL scouts.
Stop yelling, bro. We can hear you just fine. We got our headphones.
The NFL scouts said that he was not that good. I believe the scouts. Yes, they did.
What they said.
Yes, they did.
They were impressed with him.
They didn't say they were impressed.
He fell a bunch of. I'll be more than happy to share what the NFL scout said about him. It was the worst interview that he ever had.
How do you know this? This is an anonymous source.
An anonymous NFL scout said it was probably the worst.
Really, Bushmeat? You quoting an anonymous scout? Really?
Yeah, that's numerous sources said that he bombed in a bunch of interviews. He did not interview.
You just said the league was talent over everything, right?
Yes.
Cool. So that negates that. Look, anonymous.
He doesn't have NFL talent. If he had an ounce of Deion's talent, he would have been drafted in the first round. He's not that good.
Barrister. An anonymous source told me he was dating Halle Berry.
An NFL scout. Basically, numerous.
Thank you.
You guys don't know nothing about the NFL. Nothing.
Okay.
There you have it, guys. Whew, see, if it wasn't for just this platform and me just showing y'all guys this, I would been cut this off a long time ago. Because it's a bunch of foolishness. Sit there and just agree with everything that's bad. Everything negative. Don't never have nothing good to say. All right? But shout out to TARIQ. Now, let's see what Jason encounter is like with this tether.
All right, y'all. We got the Chicago North Side tether up here. All right, Barrister, what's on your mind? I gotta get a banjo sound. I gotta get a banjo sound drop for you. So I gotta get a custom sound drop for you when you call in. I'm gonna have to go get one just for you. I need a sound drop that says teeth. That's what I need. I need a sound drop that says white teeth.
Thanks for the compliment, but you and pretty much all Black Americans supporting Shador, you're just all wrong. Like, the main reason why he dropped down to the 5th round is strictly based off performance. He's not that good. That is the main case. That is all it is.
And Tyler Shaw is?
Well, Tyler Shaw actually has intangibles. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Josh Allen. He's, I believe, this year's MVP. Josh Allen was a lot like Tyler Shaw when he first came out of the draft back in 2018. He was making all those inaccurate passes. He was rough around the edges. That's Tyler Shaw right there, though. Tyler Shaw has intangibles. Shador Sanders, he has no intangibles. He's a very average to below average quarterback. The only reason why we know his name is because of his father. If he had like an ounce of Deion Sanders' athletic ability, he would have been drafted in the 1st round. NFL scouts, they don't really care about a person's
If
attitude.
he was as talentless as you say he is, he wouldn't have gotten drafted at all.
He wasn't going to get drafted at all. The reason why he got drafted was because of his father. In my theory, is the Cleveland Browns already drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round. His name is Dylan Gabriel. I'm almost certain that his father probably contacted the Cleveland Browns owner.
Okay, if you had no, it doesn't work that way.
It does work that way.
No, it does not work. It doesn't work that way. Listen to what the hell you just said. Deion Sanders contacted the Cleveland Browns. If Deion Sanders is going to contact somebody, wouldn't he contact the Cowboys, the 49ers? Why would he contact the Browns? Of all the teams available, why would he contact them, dude?
He has a close relationship with the owner and his best friend. He has a close relationship with Jerry Jones. He also has a close relationship. The Cowboys don't need a quarterback. They have Dak Prescott and several other backup quarterbacks that are way better than Shador. Okay, how's Dak been doing for the last 5 years again? They just signed him to a $300 million contract. Okay, they're not going to cut him. Oh, okay. Well, my point, I asked you how's he doing. I didn't ask you what they're paying him. I asked how they're doing. I'm not. Well, he hasn't been performing as well, but they're not going to cut him. It don't take very long to debunk this, y'all. It takes no time to debunk it. They don't even think this stuff through when they say it. They don't even think it over. I am thinking it over. I'm just stating that it's strictly talent. Basically, the NFL is a TOE league, talent over everything. Michael Vick had a whole lot of red flags. How about Tim Tebow? How about him? Tim Tebow? How about him? Tim Tebow got drafted, I believe, in the 1st round. The difference between Shador and Tim Tebow is that Tim Tebow had leadership skills. He actually had a smart IQ, and he was also a Heisman Trophy winner. Okay, so you're saying that Shador did not demonstrate leadership skills in Colorado? Nigga, is you crazy? According to the interviews, and again, you have to look at the NFL scouts and the GMs. Okay, according to numerous NFL scouts and GMs. Who among his teammates did not consider him to be a leader? Who? According to NFL scouts and how about his teammates? I don't know his teammates. I am just going based off what NFL scouts and you GMs said that he was lacking leadership, but the Tim Tebow had leadership he didn't have. Who were the teammates that he lacked it with, sir? I'm not sure. I'm not going to, because I said before, all I have to do is just look at what the individuals who make the decisions are the scouts and the GMs. 31 NFL GMs passed on him. And they did it because he was entitled. They did it because he's too uppity and too confident. No, it has nothing to do with that at all. Okay, you know we know he didn't. You know what we know they didn't do it for? We know that they didn't base their decision on performance. Now we know that they didn't base it on that. Everything isn't always what they appear to be. He didn't perform that well. He was 13 and 12. He was like 13 and 12 throughout his time in Colorado. They didn't win any bowl game. He's a very below average quarterback. He's not that good. You cannot just. That's what I'm just saying. Why don't you talk about the first? He's not that good, and he just skated not that good, and he just skated his way to the NFL because of his last name. If his last name wasn't Sanders, we wouldn't be talking about him right now. He would just be like,
guys, you can't make this stuff up. If the last name mattered that much and he didn't have any talent to go along with his last name, he would be like Michael Jordan's son. God almighty, did somebody hear me? He would be like Michael Jordan's son. Even LeBron's son has a little talent. He ain't as good as his daddy, but he at least deserved to be on the bench. At least that. Nah, he's not no 5-star player, nothing like that, no. But I'm just saying, if the last name was that, without any talent, they would have never picked him up in the first place. Because number one, he's a black man. He's a rich black man. And that's the problem. He too uppity. They see his confidence as arrogant because they lack LACK confidence. So when a person that don't have confidence look at a person with confidence, it automatically tells them he arrogant. He's entitled. Look at him. He ain't grappling and begging. They don't like that because the image of it, guys. The image. A black father like that. And he got his son all the way up to this point. Like LeVar Ball. No matter what you say about him. No matter what you say. Look at what he did. You understand? He got him all the way to this point. And most people call that success. I don't care if he went in the last spot in the draft. Most people still would call that success because the man sitting on the bench is going to make hundreds of $1,000s, if perhaps not millions, just sitting on the bench. So most people call that success. The guy had to have a level of talent. All the analysts, all the experts, everybody was projecting this guy, not because of his last name, because of his performance. And these tethers here don't like that because they not as talented. And he's not a yes man nowhere. Deion Sanders is not a yes man. And they don't like a black father, guys. I'm telling you what I know. First of all, he don't have a white woman. Not to my knowledge anyway, unbeknownst to me. I don't know, but as far as I can see, he don't have a white woman. So the money is going to his kids. And now his kid, both of them are getting ready to make some serious money. And some people even calling this a robbery because if he would have went in the first round, he was probably going to get $30 or $40 million. And some people say that might be the case because they didn't want him to get that money.
Like any other average college quarterback out there.
This is the type of fantasy they have to concoct.
It's not no fantasy. It's the facts.
If he was going to do that, why didn't he just do what LeBron James did and get his son on a real big team? Why not that? They need a quarterback. The Jets need a quarterback right now.
And the Jets GM stated that his what the heck is that?
That's your Coonan. You're Coonan smudging the camera. You're Coonan is smudging on the camera.
Anyways, what I was trying to say is that you're just not looking at everything. Why don't you talk about the first pick?
There's more. What do you say, y'all? There's more information. You see, the video doesn't show you everything. It's basically that.
Jason, why don't you talk about the first pick? Cameron Ward. He's just as confident. He's just as brash as Shedeur Sanders. But NFL teams, and he's black. NFL teams.
You already said what you meant the first time. It's intangibles. Yeah, because the intangibles are all in place.
Yes, he has no athletic ability. If he had an ounce of athletic ability from Deion Sanders, he would have been drafted in the first round. But he's not that athletic. What's the point of drafting a quarterback that is below average, but is also a prima donna?
Here's the real issue. The real issue is bootlicks and coons have a whole different internet than we all got. What? They got a whole different service provider. So their Twitter shows them a whole different their TV shows them a whole different Colorado. Thank you for giving us a call here. Remember, Coon Vision shows them a whole different view. It's like that movie They Live. They got their glasses on. The whole world looks different to them. We saw Shedeur throw the ball. It was caught. He sees him throw the ball and it gets missed. So just understand, that's what it means to have Coon Vision.
I couldn't have said it better myself, TBA. He's not as good. Well, how did Travis Hunter catch so many balls then? They went to a losing college team. They had pretty much a decent record. The boy didn't have a line. You take him and put him on a good team, would have an offensive line that can block for him, you in trouble. Simple as that. I have sat back and I watched it. That's why all the experts and everybody, all the sports commentators, all the analysts, everybody knew first and second round. Everybody knew that. And even some white people say, something else is at play here. They trying to teach him a lesson. Something else at play. I'm telling you what's at play. He too uppity. This is not the image that they want to put out there to the public. And everybody know that this guy is a cash cow because whenever he play and Deion Sanders come, all the celebrities come, entertainers, ball players, business people, everybody come out to watch him play. This could just simply be a business move. If he's not talented enough, it would be good business to a businessman to bring him on because his jersey gonna sell out. Memorabilia gonna sell out. Simple as that. But this tether here, yeah, that's that coon gene in them guys. Be not dismayed. I don't get caught up with tethers. Now, granted, I don't have a problem with all the people over there. I have a problem with the people that's Samboing. And then the good ones, the good people, don't never castigate these Myron Gaines and these Candace Owens and these Roland Martins and all these people. And I could be here until Christmas naming them all, or 2030. You don't never hear nobody say, you know what? Yes, they are from here, but we do not claim them because this is not how we feel. What you hear, well, I do listen at them, but you know, no. You go ahead and just listen at them and have your way and keep feeling. Just keep feeling. Just keep feeling. Side note, and then I have to go. If you look at what Deion Sanders named his sons, I want y'all to go Google. This is y'all homework. Go Google Shador and see what it means. Go Google his other son, Shiloh, and see what it means. All right? Be careful what you name your kids, guys. Don't just name your kids anything. Put some thought and time and effort into what you name your kids because you speaking into your child every time you call his name. That's his name. That's a label on him, okay? So go Google Shador and Shiloh. And until next time, peace. And remember, don't be a Sambo.